Yo, yo. Alright, cool. We're rolling.
Yo.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
What's
so good to see you, dude.
I know it's crack. Like, let me make sure the cameras are good.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. You hit me up kind of randomly. I'm like, what does this guy want? And then you're like, let's do a
like
show.
that?
Nah, I'm just like, what? Out of the blue, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool, man.
Yeah, no, I was excited to see you and talk to you a little bit about like mental health and stuff. And
cool,
you know,
cool, yeah. That's an important topic nowadays. And yeah, I mean, I personally grew up in a household where you just like don't really talk about it. You just deal with it.
Yeah.
So
no, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, throughout my lifetime, I've kind of had to learn how to talk about it. So
for sure. Yeah. I've always had a very hard time talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, so I've never been great at, like, sharing my feelings or, like, you know, I just, like, I always just kind of steered away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By any means necessary. So
Yeah.
a lot of times that was alcohol or whatever it may be. But, yeah, that's kind of, you know.
Yeah, for me, it was weed. Because, like, my dad kind of grew up, I grew up and my dad was kind of alcoholic, I guess. So I kind of just chose not to go that route as much. I still drink and stuff, but I made sure I was like, weed's going to be my thing. Like,
yeah.
But sometimes it's not that good either because I feel like I still don't know how to deal with shit sometimes. Like, if I don't have weed, I'm, like, a different person. And, like, I just... Things get to me a lot, like, tougher. It's kind of hard.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, you know, in this world that we live in now, like, people don't understand that it's normal to not be normal. You know what I mean?
To not feel like normal.
Exactly.
So it is normal.
Exactly. Quote unquote normal.
Yeah.
You know, like
you're...
Nobody's normal. We all have problems. We all have things, and all this social media and stuff, it doesn't help at all. You know?
The image factor of like trying to just portray a certain image,
exactly,
which isn't really. And yeah, back to like just kind of you're supposed to be just deal with things and be normal all the time. It's like, hey, how you doing? Like, oh, I'm good. You know, like. But you're not.
But you're not. Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and it's important for people like us who have beautiful daughters and, you know, those of us that have children, like, it's important to, you know, not lie about it and not say that we're normal if we're not, you know,
right.
Like if there's changes that need to be made in your life, then there's changes that need to be made.
Right, not just trying to sweep things under the rug and act like everything's all good.
Exactly.
Because like how I look at it, me personally, I'm like, I feel like there's things that are kind of generational, and for me, I looked at it in my situation and myself, and I was like, well, I kind of wanted to stop here. Like the buck stops here, like you said. We have daughters, so like we don't want to pass on certain things like trait or generational baggage or whatever.
Totally.
So it's like we gotta not just sweep things under the rug. We gotta face it and create a space to talk about these things, because in our average everyday life we're just moving so fast. We're, you know, trying to be productive or whatever, and it's like we don't even have time to just talk about certain things that we need to talk about, and then it kind of builds up, and then it kind of just like
it builds up tough.
It lingers, and it stores itself in certain places, even
Absolutely.
in your body, like stress and shit like that.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Crazy.
Yeah, we all go through like, you know, breakups and you know, just normal, regular, everyday life stuff that, you know, we, like you said, just sweep under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
And those things can actually build up and turn you into the person you don't want to be. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's really important to acknowledge that for sure. Like and be the best people that we can be. But yeah, no, I appreciate you know, all my friends and family, the people that are there for you, you know, always, like those are the people that you need to like latch onto.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like looking at all the negative, you have to really focus on the positive, which can be really hard.
Yeah.
It can be really difficult sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, but
definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else would do you use, or what would you like to see more implement into your own life as far as like just therapy, I guess, certain forms of therapy and stuff like?
Yeah. Yeah, so for myself and for I think a lot of other people too, you know, it's not a bad thing to know that you're not okay and seek some therapy and talk to somebody, you know. I've gone through a lot in my life, and a lot of people have, and it's not a bad thing to you know, reach out. And you know, Tyler turned me on to a great therapist out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best things that she told me was it's okay to like hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you gotta like, the way she put it, she said sometimes you gotta like curl up in a ball. She said before like a wolf can go hunt for his family, he has to heal his own wounds first. You know,
Yeah.
so you can't go out and expect to be productive if you can't take care of yourself first.
Right. Yeah, you gotta kind of take care of number one, and not in a selfish way. It's actually a giving way to the people around you. You're giving them your best by taking care of yourself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I agree with that part for sure.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, I'm not the best spokesperson for this, and
me neither.
But I do spend a lot of time trying to deal with things in a certain way, like healthy ways myself. But I myself haven't really gotten around to like creating the space enough. I think that's why this podcast kind of came about, just because I feel like conversations like this would pop up, like people would want to talk about it, and I'm open to that. So
yeah,
but I think it has to do with creating space, and like I guess finding people like you said that are willing to help create that space and navigate that space with you.
Totally. Yeah, for sure. And you know, a big thing is, you know, especially for people like you and I that have beautiful children, you know, like remembering that it's not about us anymore. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's about our children. Like, so just knowing that my daughter will have my back for the rest of my life, knowing that your daughter will have your back the rest of your life, like, that's a beautiful thing. And so that's I think a lot of people dismiss that, and they focus more on themselves, and I'm guilty of that as well, you know. So I'm doing my best to focus more on my daughter's life and focus on like what I need to do to be there for her versus anything else, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's like half the battle, like being able to recognize it for one, and then face it like head to head or face to face. Because like you said, especially as men, like we're kind of just expected to just deal with things and not really talk about our emotions. I guess we're supposed to be just tough and like handle shit. And
yeah.
So like, it's cool. I think things have changed though throughout the years. And it's becoming more of a accepted thing, and it's actually becoming more of a like it's something that we're recognizing that we need to do and make sure is we're on point with our mental health and our emotional health. And yeah
Man, like I said, this recent breakup that I went through was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. And so like things like that happen to you in your life, you can easily get distracted from what's actually important. You know?
It could just throw you off and
totally throw you off. Yeah. And like, you know, like, doesn't matter how in love you were or whatever, but you got to know that, you know, there's still people that care about you and stuff like that. And, you know, I think mental health is like a big issue that everyone's going through right now, especially with COVID. Because, like, I mean, like, divorce rates are like through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, suicide is through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all this crazy stuff. And, like, I think you gotta sometimes just take a step back and understand that, like, life goes on. You just gotta focus on what's really important.
Yeah, for sure. Know? I like nature to kind of help deal with that. Like you're saying, the world is kind of crazy with so many moving parts in the world. Sorry. But sometimes we have to unplug and disconnect from that. And like nature's just like so perfect, like and harmonious, and like it's therapeutic, and it kind of takes away that static, like it cleanses you in a way. So
totally,
that's one thing I do, like that helps me a lot. So besides just being able to have someone to talk to, it's just kind of, like I said, creating that space where you could kind of listen to yourself sometimes and be a little bit more quiet, because there's so much static in the world, like everything's competing for our attention, like and you just get lost in the worldly shit, and you kind of lose focus, like you said.
Completely. I recently like deleted my Instagram. I'm just trying to, like you said, just be more worldly and just be more in my bubble, you know what I mean? Like, because I think social media, it pushes people to think in a way that they're not supposed to, if that makes any sense. I think, like, you know, you might be going through a hard time and you jump on Instagram and you see somebody and their marriage looks perfect,
right?
And all this stuff, and like in reality, that's just what they're posting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're not perfect.
No,
you know, nobody is. Like they've got their problems too.
Yeah.
But nobody posts that. Nobody posts their problems.
Yeah.
So when you focus on social media, you know, it's very depressing. It's very it can be very bad for mental health.
Yeah.
And I hate to see people go through that.
Yeah. It's like these expectations of what life's supposed to be like.
Right.
Even with like finances or like you said, relationships and stuff. It's all outside. It's an image that, you know, people are putting for the outside to view. But like inside, it's not that way necessarily.
Right.
So,
totally.
Yeah, the social media thing is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And plus, it has that with the echo chamber effect, where it kind of just feeds you what you want to see, so you get sucked into it. So like a lot of weird stuff happens there too, with like confirmation bias and like say politics, for instance. And so like there's a lot of craziness going on in that realm.
It's crazy, yeah, yeah, man, yeah.
People fighting over weird shit.
Yeah, and you know, like and that depression can turn into other things. Like, so for me, it was like when I would get really upset, I would turn to alcohol. You know, I would drink a lot. And, you know, it's not something that I wanted to do. It was just like that was the closest thing.
Right.
You know, it was just like, oh, I don't feel good. Boom, alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that, you know, in turn ruined a lot of good relationships in my life. It you know, it hurt my personal health. It hurt a lot of things, and I think a lot of people turn to something. You know, people go, man, my relationship's not going well, or this isn't going well, or whatever, and they turn to some sort of substance.
Yeah, self-medication,
right.
Self-soothing.
Right.
Which is kind of for the moment it might feel better, but it doesn't fix the problem.
It's a band-aid.
And it might in fact make the problems worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's a band-aid. Yeah. So I think, as I'm trying to get better, I also want other people to like understand that they have outlets. You know, like there are outlets, and especially if you have a great family and a great group of friends, or a child, to latch onto, then that's probably the best thing, because it can be really hard. This world is not this world. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy.
Yeah. Well, I commend you, man, for like just stepping up to the plate and like having the courage, the balls, dude, to fucking just, step up and try to handle it and not try to just sweep it under the rug or, like just keep going down that rabbit hole and try to actually put it out there and try to deal with it. Because a lot of times it just trying to hide it makes it worse too. So you got to get it out, huh?
Totally. Yeah.
I'm not too good at that.
No, me neither, man.
So
me neither.
It's something that I think I got a lot of working on myself to do.
Yeah.
With that situation.
Well, no, I really appreciate you saying that, and
yeah, it takes a lot of courage. Basically,
I know you're gonna figure that same thing out too. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I'm 34 years old now.
Yeah, who would ever thought we'd be sitting here
yeah. I should be like a doctor now or something. You know what I mean? Like, you would think that like life would get easier, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff they tell you when you're little, like. It's all true. Like life only gets harder.
But back to like our children, it's like I feel like that's why we need to do this kind of to help them be able to deal with shit that comes up in their lives and shit like that. Where, like I feel like I wasn't really taught that way of like speaking your problems and your emotions and trying to deal with it in a group setting. It was like I was just kind of dealt with it on my own. So
But, no, me too. Me too. I've always just like I'll turn my phone off. And just be like, I'm dealing with this by myself. You know what I mean?
And sometimes that's good too. I do encourage people to kind of just take that time to be alone and really sit with themselves and even the shadow work, I guess they call it, like just things that are gonna dark it within yourself. You kind of gotta sit with yourself and sometimes and just it's not uncomfortable. It's not fun, but you gotta deal with it. So
it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun.
But so like that, I think is important to do the solo work, but then having someone to talk to and exchange and like even laugh about the not fun parts is good because it's like, oh, I'm not the only one. So so you actually feel better, and people can help walk you through it because they've been through it, so they can help you walk through it and carry that weight.
Yeah.
So
when you are going through it, it feels like you're the only one. Yeah. Like it feels like no one's got your back.
Like God like chose you and like spotted you out. Like like no, you're the only one who's gonna feel this.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
Yeah.
But
so for me, like I always kind of pushed people away. Mm-hmm. Like that's always been like my thing, was like pushing people away when I really needed them.
Right.
People were there to have my back, and I was like, no, get away from me. Like, and like that's what ended my my most recent relationship, and it's what ultimately like is my demise. Like I'm very bad at accepting love because I just
you feel vulnerable kind of and it almost feels easier to just stay closed,
totally,
especially after going through say a life-changing experience where you were hurt and then you want to just close off and like harden off and be cold because you kind of want to numb out, or you don't want to take risks being vulnerable in with relationships and stuff like that. So,
exactly.
But that's not good. Like,
I know.
Some of the best things in relationships are when you're vulnerable and like you're able to open up and like share your vulnerability with people, and that's how the healing gets done too.
Totally, yeah. And I'm gonna obviously, and I hope other people do too, and I hope other people understand what I'm saying here. Is that something we all need to work on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you have people that love you and care about you, don't push them away.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really tough thing for me. That's a really sore subject because I've done it my whole life. And you know, like my goal at this point is to you know, speak to kids and speak to people that are going through things like I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
And walk them through it because I want them to know they're not alone.
Yeah, and understand that, you know, like everyone kind of goes through things, and they're, like you said, there's people there for you, and they want to help, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you push them away.
Yeah,
and then guess what? They're probably not coming back.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like you'd be very lucky if they come back, but if you continue to follow through with that behavior and, you know, like be rude to people and not respect their love for you, then, you know, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be all alone. Like, you know. So I want people to understand that I'm trying to understand it myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I'm no preacher.
Like, no, I'm right there with you, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm kind of the same way too. Like I do keep people at distance.
Totally.
Like I feel I have issues with like kind of being intimate with people where it's like, because I feel like the people closest to you could hurt you the most. So It's like I have issues with that, and like I keep people outside. I keep my guard up, and I think relationships do suffer from that, and like there's something that's lost when you do that. Like there's something that's gained when you're open and you're vulnerable, and it's hard though.
It is, man. It is. Life is hard, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I wanted kind of this whole podcast to be about, was just mental health. You know, I want people to know that they're not alone, you know, because sometimes it's really easy to feel alone.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes but like I said, for me, I did it to myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you push everybody away, but then you feel alone. It's like, and then you're like, why am I alone?
Damn, that's funny. That's how I am.
Yeah,
too.
dude. It's the irony of the whole thing. It's just like I push everybody away, and then I'm super sad that I'm alone.
Right.
You know, like I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm the one that did it. So like, why would I? How can I sit around and cry about it when I'm the one that did it? You know.
So what are some tools, like what are some methods, or like I mean what's the strategy, how like just
for me and you know, I think for a lot of people, just like seeking therapy, like just like, so, you know, Tyler got me really into therapy, and like, you know, just talking more about and it's one thing to talk with friends about stuff, but sometimes you have to have like a stranger, like a therapist, like somebody that doesn't know you. Yeah. So there's no bias. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Yeah. So talking about your own personal issues with somebody that doesn't know you, I think is really important.
Okay.
I think that's important for a lot of people. Definitely important for me.
Okay. I haven't really gone down that route. I know Tyler has always talked about that, and he suggested some therapists for me too. And I kind of just like was like, you know, I never really dealt with it that way. And
right.
I would be willing to. I'm down, but I have never went that route. So I don't know about that too much. Like,
yeah, no, dude, trust me, I'm the biggest like pessimist ever when it comes to that type of thing, man. I don't like talking to people. I don't like it. I just I'm like, no, like I don't know I don't know this person. I'm not talking to him. You know, like But no, Tyler kind of forced me to. He like
really.
Yeah, he paid for everything.
Oh, really?
He's like,
that was one thing too.
like,
I'm like, I don't want to pay somebody like that. It's
yeah.
like what, like 100. It's kind of expensive sometimes, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's very expensive. Yeah,
but they do it with like Medi-Cal, I think.
Yeah,
certain insurance companies provide it, right? Like
yeah,
free Medi-Cal. I think. Yeah, that you could go that route.
Yeah, you can definitely get help if you need it. They also have like they have scholarships.
Really?
So like if they know that you really want it that bad, or they know that you need like if you're proving to them that you want some help, then like there's definitely outlets. Like there's definitely ways to do it. So yeah, I mean, that was back in Colorado when I saw a therapist, but I could say like from the bottom of my heart, like I think everybody that's going through anything even similar should like pursue some sort of counseling or
how long did you do that
therapy
for?
I only saw her once.
Oh, really?
And it's all it took.
Really?
I swear.
For like how long? Like an hour or something?
It was like 2-3 hours. Yeah.
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 And you just let it all out, or what?
Yeah, just let it all out.
Did you cry?
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, I cry all day. Man. Dude,
that's good, right?
I cry all day, man. Yeah, I'm a baby for sure. But no, I think everybody needs to just reach out and my company Selka, that's what I stand for. That's just mental health and every penny that comes to my company is going to go to.
So what is that? Explain that to me more. Or
it's a clothing company that I started a long time ago. I kind of turned it into a camera strap company.
Oh, cool.
And but so I'm going a different route now. I'm going to make it a clothing company again that is going to focus on mental health.
Okay.
So I want to promote and provide as much help as I can to others that are going through similar things like I am. I really want that for a lot of people.
So are you working with other like company or like outlets for that? Like
Tyler and I are working together.
Okay.
And I want to definitely branch out and work with other companies.
Right.
And collaborate.
Like are there like nonprofits and stuff that are like designed for this type of stuff?
There might be. It's kind of tough. The clothing world is a really tough space.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to put in whatever work it takes to make some money to put towards teaching people that they have outlets.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the sports and stuff is a good outlet too. So I think it's good therapy, like whatever you do, skateboarding or snowboarding or kayaking, or I play soccer, stuff like that. It's good. Like physical activity is good for
vitamin D.
People kind of dismiss that. Yeah, like just simple things kind of help you deal with a lot of shit. Like people even diet, like people dismiss diet and exercise and they wonder why they're not happy and shit like that.
Yeah, I do this terrible thing where I just lay in bed for like 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just lay in bed for like 5 days, like not even sleeping, just like staring at the ceiling.
Really?
Dude, I'm just terrible. Yeah, like I just get depressed and I'll just sit there and stare at the ceiling, and it's like that's not healthy for anybody.
So what about like more non-conventional things like magic mushrooms for depression? That's like a big thing right now, right? Like psilocybin mushrooms, people are using it for depression. And
is it? I don't know. I'm trying to deal with things naturally. You know what I mean? Just like not that mushrooms aren't natural, but like I really want to just like get to know myself again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Without alcohol or any kind of like consumption of anything.
Yeah.
Like just water and just like try and get to know myself again. You
Yeah.
know, be like 16 again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, well, that's kind of bad because we've been smoking weed since way before 16.
Yeah.
But
yeah, seriously. I started smoking heavy around 15. But yeah, even when I quit, like I said, I'll try. And like my emotions and everything, like just how I deal with everyday life is totally different. It gets super hard for me. It feels like the whole world's like just shitty kind of. Right. And then I smoke some weed and I feel better, but I'm like, there's probably some things I haven't learned to cope with things without the weed, so I don't think that's necessarily good.
Yeah.
Like it's good. I mean, I don't think weed's like I'm not demonizing it at all. You know what I mean? But I relied on it so much in my life that I feel like I don't know how to cope with things without it.
Right.
It's like it's a crutch almost. And like I don't know if I feel like I could be better if I learned how to deal with things without it. So I've been practicing that. You know, I'll go like a couple days and break and whatever, but it's tough. It could be tough.
Well, no, I think that's great, man, because I wish that for me it was weed and not alcohol. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't know if I said this already, but, you know, Tyler told me, you don't have a problem with alcohol. You have a problem with life.
Right.
Tyler has a way of just saying the perfect shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's like, you don't have an alcohol problem. You have a life problem.
Because we talked about it, I think, on the first show too, and I kind of explained the same thing with weed, and he's like, well, like the fact that you recognize it and you're willing to change is kind of like not even that much of a problem anymore. Right. I guess. I'm like, yeah, but. But. When you put the proof to the test or whatever, it's like kind of hard. Like.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to just go like a month without weed.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be much easier, I would assume, than going a month without alcohol.
Alcohol is hard.
Alcohol is tough. Yeah. I don't feel normal unless like I have a beer in my hand. Right. You know, my grandpa was the same way. Right. My grandfather, you know, I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandpa always had a beer in his hand. Yeah. Like he wasn't like, you know, drinking a bottle of vodka. Yeah. But he just always liked having a beer in his hand.
What kind of beer was he drinking?
Coors Original.
Yeah, the banquet beer.
Oh, yeah, the banquets. Yep.
Those are good.
Yeah. So, you know, I've always been that way too. But I think when COVID hit, I think this happened to a lot of people. I had nothing to do but drink and drink and drink and drink. And I drank more and more and more. And it caused me to treat my companion poorly. It caused me to just get more distant from myself. And it eventually ended up ruining my relationship with my girlfriend. It, you know, and like I think a lot of people are going through it. Like the divorce rates are through the roof and everything, like we were talking about earlier. And you know, I think there's better ways to deal with it. Like if people can get out and get exercise, and you know, I've been reading the Bible a lot. Nice. Which is great. Like, yeah, you know, just anything you can do other than just like turn to a substance. Right. I think is great for anyone.
Yeah. So yeah, like having faith is a good one for sure. Having like a belief in a purpose and like a higher power, I guess, and like I think it helps a lot.
Totally.
I'm not trying to push any type of religion on anybody, but if you could, if you have something that you could grasp onto, I that's obviously, you know, it's a tool. There's other self-help things too, like people like have mantras or like meditation is a good one. Like my buddy, he's really big into meditation. I used to be into it more, but I need to get back into it. But that also helps too a lot, like just prayer, meditation, and your overall kind of view on the world shapes how you feel. So like if you're looking at the world and like watching the news all the time, that's another thing. Like the news is like, it's like bombarding and it's like trying to just infiltrate you and like, and it's a lot. So like I think just your worldview has a big part of how you feel. So I don't know, anything you can do to kind of to gain an advantage on that, and you know, that's why I like nature, because like how could you be mad at nature, and like how could you feel like fuck the world when you're in nature? Like you're in awe. You're like, wow, this is beautiful. Like the birds are chirping, the water's flowing. You're by a creek or something. Everything's all green. Like I think in Japan they actually they do that where it's like forest bathing or something, nature bathing basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you just go there for like at least a half hour, and they even have studies of that, and it's been pretty much proven that it's like antidepressant, like all that stuff like goes up, like your endorphins and dopamine when you're around nature. Your physical body, your chemical being body, whatever systems are a lot healthier and a lot better.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. I have a really hard time. So like my mind is really racy. Mm-hmm. Like my mind always races. Mm-hmm. So like I try and you know, even just sitting down and praying, mm-hmm. I'll like in the middle of a prayer start thinking about something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on with me? Like, why can't I even like pray right now? Yeah. You know, or like, especially like if I try and like meditate or something, like everyone's like, just breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe. Yeah. Just focus on you. And it's like, my mind just goes though. Yeah. You know, so like, you know, that, and I think a lot of people suffer with that, you know. I know I'm not the only one that has to deal with that, but, you know, I'm doing the work to get better and reading the Bible a lot more and just like trying to like look for answers and stuff. So
cool. I think there, like, people think of meditation as like kind of just sitting there and breathing and chanting maybe or whatever, kind of hippity-dippity kind of, but I there's like walking meditation. Like you could just go for a walk and kind of meditate. And like for me, like when I'm doing my freestyle soccer, like it's all by myself, and to me that's like a form of meditation. Like skateboarding, I feel like could be a form of meditation. To me, it's more about like having that focal point where you're not thinking about, you're not distracted, or your mind's not going everywhere. You're just focused on one thing, and having that ability, I feel like is a good thing.
Yeah.
I
just watched a video last week. It's a like a skateboard documentary, and this dude's saying like, all I need to do is just push on my skateboard, and everything goes away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everything else goes away.
And sometimes that's all you need is that little break. Like I went through it, like when like me and my daughter, her mom, we broke up, and I was just like, I couldn't stop thinking about it just because like my daughter and like everything, you know. I try to, you know, try to keep the unit together and try to do that, but it just didn't work out. And like that's when I started playing soccer again, because I used to always play, and then I stopped. Like after high school, I didn't play for like 4 years, I think longer, maybe like 5 years. And then so that was going on with that situation with my daughter's mom and stuff. And then my brother hit me up, was like, you want to play on this team over here in like Ukaipa? I'm like, yeah, cool, let's play. And then like that was the only time when I was out there I wasn't stressed out, and like I felt just kind of free, and so that's when I started getting back into soccer, and it helped me a lot. Yeah, because like we said, the physical part, it just sets your chemistry, like it resets it, and like it gets things going and stuff. So.
Totally.
And then that mental break too is like where you get just a break, like even if it's for like a half hour.
And just that vitamin D too.
That
just
too,
being out in the sun, man. Just getting some sunshine.
Sweating.
Man. Yeah, it's sweating something out. Like if you need to go for a little run or whatever it is, like whoever, like everybody has their own thing. Mm-hmm. You know, for you it's soccer, for me it's skateboarding or snowboarding, or you know, for whoever it may be. For Arin and Rana, for JJ, it's getting in the gym and grappling, or you know what I mean. Everyone has their own thing, but you know, it just to get a little bit of aggression out, and not and not just sit around and sit in your
it's
own
doing
sorrows.
something with your energy and your emotions. It's like, yeah, you don't want to just sit there and kind of be stagnant and dwelling on things. You kind of gotta just get out there and move, like just
Absolutely.
move around and get a different scenery and like reset your mind. And
totally, yeah. It can be tough too, because there's a lot of days, like, there's a lot of days I don't feel like getting out of bed. I'm like, I don't even want to face the day right now. You know, like I got nothing to do. Like I don't want to go out. Like nothing's gonna make me happy. And then I'll step outside. Second that sun hits my face, I'm like, oh, now we're talking.
Same way, dude. The sun, I love it so much. It just gets me going.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
it's that energy. But yeah, like those things are practices, definitely. Like I feel like you do have to practice it and try to make it a habit, because sometimes you don't want to, but when you do it as a practice and try to get into the habit of it, you almost miss it. Like if you don't do it, you're almost like, I don't feel good, I need to go. Like lately I've been riding my bike more. Like Gary Garcia, we reconnected because he's living in San Diego.
I love Gary.
Yeah, and he's into bikes, and he got me into bikes.
He's always been into bikes.
Yeah, and we were too when we were younger, and that's why I was like, hell yeah, I'm proud that you're like still in it. And like I spent a lot of time in San Diego, and we were riding bikes, and it was just like, man, like the sunshine and just riding bikes by the beach. It was the shit. So we built a bike together, and then I've been riding that, and that helps me a lot too. Yeah. Like just I'll be feeling kind of funky, and then I'll just go out and ride, and I feel better. And then like if I don't ride for a while, I'm like kind of feeling like, man, I feel funky, dude. Like I miss it,
Yeah.
Like you miss it
definitely.
once you make it a habit. Like,
yeah.
You're like, this is something's missing out of my life. Like what is it?
Yeah. No, and another thing I want to say, like, and it applies to that too, like, is like, my grandma always told me there's a reason that the windshield is much bigger than the rearview mirror. Always supposed to be looking forward.
Damn.
Doesn't matter what's behind you.
Damn.
The things that are behind you are the things that are behind you.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of us need to focus on that, because I suffer from that a lot. I give myself a lot of guilt, and I give myself a lot of I constantly think about the problems I did, like whatever I caused in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if more people can focus on what's to come tomorrow, I think it'd be a better world we live in, because if you keep looking back, you're never going to be happy if you look at your mistakes your whole life.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. So.
Yeah. So Trevor Bargery called me like a year ago, and he was going through a program, and he apologized to me. He's like, just for some shit or whatever in the past.
Uh-huh.
And Trevor's always like he's like always like moving forward, I feel like. But I guess he kind of had to do that with his program he was in.
Right.
And like
it's part of the 12-step program.
Yeah. And so I forgave him for whatever and shit. I don't want to get into it, like this whole thing.
No.
But
yeah.
But the point was like, it is good to get the past out of the way, I feel like, and then to move forward.
Totally.
So like if this applies to anybody, like say your apologies and say you're sorry for whatever you did in the past, and if they forgive you or not, whatever, I don't know the situation, but at least you can say you tried, and you can leave that part. You could kind of close that chapter and kind of move forward.
You can say that you did your part, at least,
Yeah.
Like I did my best to.
At least you like recognized where, and
right.
With his situation, I mean, I'm gonna say it because I feel like he wouldn't mind, but he was doing different substances, and he was
just with me in Atlanta last week.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to meet up. He's been trying to meet up with me. I just love that guy. He's always such a Oh,
he's the man.
Yeah. But I know we all suffer with shit, but I know he's always like, he's so excited to see me all the time. I'm like, dude.
Everyone's excited to see you all the time, man.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I feel bad, like sometimes if like he hits me up and I'm like busy or whatever, I'm like, But he's cool, dude.
Great dude, man. That dude has had my back like more than I could ever ask for.
Yeah. Seriously.
Great dude, man.
He's cool, man.
Great
I wish
dude.
he was here right now.
I know, me too. He's in LA.
He's just always so like laughing and like wants everyone like be excited and have a good time. I'm like, that's cool, man. I like that.
Well, and I think that's how most of us have always been. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I think you, me, Stovall, JJ,
Aaron,
RJ, Arin, you know what I mean? Like,
we just want everyone to have a good time.
Yeah,
and have fun.
we all grew up just having so much fun, and then like life got real all of a sudden. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like wait, what?
Like, damn, party's over.
What? Yeah, like getting kicked out, like getting escorted out by the cops.
We still want to party.
Yeah, but I'm still chilling. Where am I supposed to go? Yeah. No, man, no. We've all been great friends for a long time, and it's great to sit here and talk with you, and especially about mental health, because I think it's like a very important thing. It's something that I want to like, you know, I'm going through it, but because I'm going through it, it makes me want to help other people that are going through it. Mm-hmm. You know, so it'd be a fantastic world if we could all just be happy and smiling and laughing all the time. Yeah, like we used to. You know what I mean? But that's not the world we live in anymore. We're all adults. We got kids now. We have responsibilities, and
it's some heavy shit. But I think part of the magic is being able to take that heavy shit and I guess having the courage to let it out and be vulnerable and make light of it. I think that's the magic, where you take the heavy shit and you make it light, kind of. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it does take courage, though, because people like to just ignore shit. So
yeah, I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm 34 years old now, and finally not ignoring it.
Yeah, like coming together like we're doing right now and making light of the situation, I think it has a lot of magic to it.
Absolutely,
because
man.
Shit could be super heavy and dark, so
yeah, it
just
can.
Be able to just kind of laugh about it, like, oh, it's kind of stupid, but
yeah, man. Everything's gonna get better. It can only, you know, you gotta always, like I said, just always look for tomorrow. Yeah, you know, yesterday's behind you.
The silver lining,
you know? Yeah. But I love you and I appreciate you fucking having me on, man.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming out and reconnecting and shit.
Yeah, awesome. Dude. Definitely. So, it's always great to see you. It's been 10 years.
Damn, has it?
Yeah.
Really?
10 years.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, really?
I was in Denver for 8.
Damn.
Then moved to Texas for 1. Then moved to Oregon for 8
And you
months.
never came back?
I came back to visit my daughter, but I never saw you.
Damn.
I know.
I guess Instagram, it makes me seem like we
exactly, right? Yeah.
We've talked and shit. And
no, it's been 10 years since I've seen you.
You helped me make my chopping block thing.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and we need a new one too.
So I'm excited to work with you, and if you need any help with any ideas or anything, like if you can come or you want to come on here and talk again or whatever,
anything
always open.
Any like inspiration or like something, if you're like, hey, like I'm kind of feeling like I like this kind of look, or whatever, you know, just send it to me and I'll you know me, I'll get it done in an hour.
Sweet. Yeah, you got it done real quick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what's up, man? What's the plan for the rest of the day?
I don't know. I want to shoot some pool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go hang out and go do some shit.
Let's go shoot some pool.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
All right, G.
All right, later.